Hello, so we're in place and this is the second activity. So we were thinking about places, so why not think about where we are all at? So this activity is about where we're located. So I'm just going to quickly run through this activity for place. Let me try and get this sorted. Right. Oh, I'm too big. Right. So what's the purpose of this activity? One is to share some information about your place, where that is. And this is an opportunity to get to know a bit about each other and learn a little bit more about Microsoft Teams. So what do we do in this activity? One of the things you need to decide and think about the order of sharing. Okay, so we're going to go round your team and everybody's going to share something. Everyone should have a go. This is a safe place. Hopefully you've watched the video on psychological safety. It gives you an opportunity to think about how do we make sure people feel supported in this team, a really key part of developing a good team. So I'd go to Google Maps or some other and then share your screen, which I'll show you how to do in a minute, to show where you are, and then say something about where you are. Say something about the place that you live. You might want to choose a particular location near where you are. That might be a street or a place. And I'll talk you through what that might look like in a second. So you're going to go to Google Maps, share your screen about where you're physically at the moment, and talk a little bit about it. Say 2 minutes about your place. Doesn't have to be very much. Tips. Don't worry about the technology. If it goes wrong or you can't do it, that is fine. That is the purpose of these activities, is to try it out and see what works. If you know what someone's doing wrong, then share, support them. That's what's going to make a good team. And there's no need to say exactly where your house is, just the town or area, whatever you're comfortable with. So you don't need to necessarily point out your house. Why not talk about your favourite thing about your place? What do you like about it? What's good about it? Why not ask questions to others when they're sharing? What's that bit in the background? What these kind of things. So have a chat, talk about your place. Some riffs, some alternatives. You could choose Street View. Maybe show something, a landmark, a favourite coffee shop, your school, something from your place. Do it in Street View. What about showing Street View and then get people to guess where it is and see what their comments are. Where do you think this street might be? This is where I grew up. This is where I was born. This is the hospital where I was born. What might that look like? So feel free to choose whatever location you might want to choose and then share something about it which shares something about you to your team. And that's really important. How about choosing a place that you want to go rather than the place where you are, and talk about why it is you want to go there. So choose a location. Again, you could get people to ask. These are all different variations. Entirely up to you. You might want to choose to do something different as it gets to your point. That's fine. Okay, some traps. It's not a competition. You don't have to have the best place or show the funniest thing or the fanciest thing. It's just a way of getting to know people. So don't feel competitive. So be curious. Again, if you've watched the videos on ostentatious listening, so not thinking about what you're going to say, try and think about what other people are saying and be curious about their locations. What is it that's interesting about their location? What would you like to know more of? Pop a little message in the chat. Ask them to talk through something. Maybe ask them to take a little wander, a little tour of their town, so to speak. That might be an interesting thing to do around your team. So be curious in others. Don't think about it yourself. If you're logged into something like your browser and you're worried because Google Maps will show up, your own location, your friend's location, your family's locations and places you've been, just choose an incognito tab or an incognito window or private browser or whatever it might be. It's totally easy to do. I'll show you how to do that right now. So let me go to place and I'm going to open a new tab. So I could just open a new tab, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to show a private window. So this is just a generic private window or private tab, which is quite good for when you're demonstrating stuff or you don't want to be logged into your Google site and you want to show people something. So I'm just going to go to Google Maps here. And then I'm going to, so you can see immediately where I am. I'm located in Clevedon. I don't want to discover restaurants. So this is where I am. So what I might do, so I'm currently in here, okay, in Clevedon on the M5. UE is up here somewhere in the north of Bristol. So I'm down here. So I might try and show something interesting. This may not be very interesting at all, but my favourite coffee shop in Clevedon. So I would have done this. Can't spell. I'd have done this prior to my turn, so you don't have to see it, but you can see what I've done here. So I'm actually just going to go to Street View, and I'm going to say, okay, here is my favourite coffee shop in Clevedon. There we are, tiny little coffee shop here. I love this coffee shop, and I could talk to you about why I like this coffee shop. This is a street in where I live, or I could show you something else about where I live. So, show you something about it. I could have chosen something else. I might have chosen this street and say, where do you think this street is? If it wasn't showing it on the top there. But you get the idea. Just share something about your local place. I could have showed the Clevedon Pier. You know, I don't mind. You know, where. Obviously, this is not about me. This is about you. But you can just show whatever you want. Oh, I'm actually in a restaurant here. Okay. I've never been in this restaurant until just now. That's the pier. Right. You get the idea. Share something about yourself. Post it in the comments. But what you want to know is, how do I actually do that in Teams? So if I go into Teams. Now in my group, let's just say I'm in a meeting. Now it's going to be a bit weird because I'm already there, so I'm just going to call this Google Maps. So say I'm now in this meeting, I'm having a meetup, so it's trying to connect, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you when it connects. Right. I'm in this meetup. Hopefully you're there with your friends and your other students, and the video isn't working because it's working down here in this corner. So what do I need to do? I need to share this, and so I click on this thing here, share content, or I can do the keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-E, share content. When I click on that, it's going to say, what do I want to share? Well, what I want to share is my Google Maps. So then I'm going to click on that. And sharing is paused until I return to the shared window. Okay, I'm going to return to the shared window. So therefore, I need to go to my shared window. Okay, so this should now be shared in the site. So this is just a Google Maps view. So I could talk about wherever I wanted to. So, you know, this is my town. This is where I'm at. So this is now being shared in Teams through the Teams site, and people will be able to see it. You can see it is because it's got this little Teams window here, call in progress, and I can click that and it'll go back to the call screen. But because I'm sharing this screen, this is how I'm sharing that in Teams. So I can stop sharing by clicking on that little picture of the screen there, and that's stopping the sharing. So again, you click on that to share something. I can share whatever it is I like. That's what I'm sharing. You can see there's a little red line around it as I'm sharing it, and then I'm going to search for that, and this will all be being shared in my Teams group. You get the idea. Things didn't necessarily go perfectly for me when I was demonstrating that. That's okay. The opportunity here is not it's just to share something about yourself and to show how you can do that in Teams. Right, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to leave my meetup, and I'm going to go back to where I was. Okay, so that's how you do it. Go around in your groups, everybody shares something about where they're at, and that's it for this activity. Good luck, have some good learning. Hopefully you learn how to use Teams, learn something about the people in your meetup, and take the opportunity to ask some curious and interesting questions about where people are from and what it's like to have grown up there or been there or go there or why they want to go there. You get the idea. Okay, have fun.